Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon or this evening in I'm happy to be joined here today by Leo, who is from Vittascience and is going to be sharing with us everything about the platform and the resources that are available so that we can be doing coding and robotics and all that fun stuff for elementary school today. So take it away, Leo.
Thank you very much. Sorry, I couldn't find a microphone anymore. So yeah, thank you very much for inviting me. It's really a pleasure. I've done in the past month webinars with Quebec in French, and we actually discussed with Chris, and that's how the idea of having a webinar in English now emerged. So I'm very happy to be among you today and present some of the tools that Vittascience offers. So feel free to interrupt me at any time. I will try to present you quite broadly the platform and the different tools that we have around coding, robotics, and AI. And then I suggest we move forward with questions, and I will, of course, adapt my presentation according to what you want to know and hear. And yes, please feel free to interrupt me anytime. So I see that Chris already shared the link to the Vittascience platform in English in the chat. So thank you, Chris, for that. You can follow everything I do on the platform while I'm doing it. And yes, feel free to stop me anytime. My name is Leo, and I'm the founder of Vittascience. It's a platform that I created in 2018, 7 years ago, which now employs 16 people full time, dedicated to STEM education in general. We work with students and teachers from primary to secondary and even higher education. And at this point of time, we have around 500,000 users per year discovering coding, robotics, and AI on the platform. We have partnerships also with the ministries of education in France and also in Luxembourg. And we work with teachers all around the world using the platform. So let me perhaps share my screen and show you the platform. Unless there's a question now that could be asked.
Leo, we're going to focus on elementary today. That's
Okay.
our goal. Is that good with you guys? Like, I think we're in the elementary, and then we're doing another with secondary.
It's fine for me. Absolutely.
Great.
So at the moment, in most countries, elementary schools have less technology teaching than secondary schools. Nonetheless, it is my personal belief, and also more and more curriculum all around the world are adding technology to primary school education, and I think it is super important to at least sensibilize the students at a very young age to the various technologies that they will face in their life, and also to fight against the gender gap that we observe in the Western world, which is shared, I see in Canada and in France, regarding girls and STEM. Yes, so let me share my screen, and I will guide you through the platform. So that would be it. Yes, just a second, my Zoom. Yes, do you see the screen?
Yep.
Okay, great. So on the website, you can navigate through languages on the top right. So you should see English and arrive there directly with the link that Chris provided. In case you need, it is also translated in French, Russian, German, Italian, Spanish, and Arabic. So once you access the platform, you can see different tabs on the top. Most of the tool can be used without logging and also without paying. So it's a freemium service. And then I will mention it later. Some of the features are requiring you to signing in, and some also require you to pay. But most of them are kept free in order to maximize the amount of users and also our impact in education. So I will start with programming, which is the first tab. On this one, you will see around 50 different coding interfaces, which cover most of the use cases that you can have in the classroom. Some of them are dedicated to programmable boards, such as the microbit, Arduino, ESP32s, and so on. Others are dedicated to robots, such as the MBot, Timio, perhaps you know Lego, Spike, or Bluebot. So there are many of them, and some also are for coding without hardware, such as the web interface to code basic websites, or the Python interface, or Adacraft, which is a Scratch fork. So you can choose among these various use cases, and some of them are dedicated to primary schools. I think especially the Bluebot, for instance, which is very much recommended for young students to learn coding, but also the Lego Spike, Photon, and some others. And some are a little bit more advanced, for instance, the Now humanoid robots or the Nerio arms or the Raspberry Pi. But what all these interfaces have in common, so let me take, for instance, the microbit, because I actually have a microbit just next to me here. So I'm pretty sure you all know the BBC microbit board. Is that correct? Sorry, I don't see you anymore.
I think most of us are familiar with the microbit.
Okay. So with this board specifically, what we've done is a coding interface with two sides, so block-based coding and Python. In most of the world, the block-based coding is dedicated to primary and middle schools, and only from high school, students start learning with text code. But you never know, and sometimes they start earlier. So you can take blocks, for instance, to show an icon, and this will generate the code. And what is quite original with Vittascience is that it also goes in the other direction. So if you declare a variable, for instance, a equal 4, you will get set a to 4, and then you can also change in the other direction here and put like 55, and you'll see it changed in the code. So it's well. Sorry, it seems my headset has no battery anymore. Do you hear me well?
Yeah, we still hear you.
Okay, I had to change the microphone because my battery has shut down with the headset, sorry. So basically, we have bidirectional translation between block-based coding and Python. And if you're not interested, you can hide the text code or hide the blocks. So for primary schools, most people prefer to stay with blocks only. And then you have a simulator showing you the results. So in this case, you have a virtual microbit, which is fully interactive. So you can ask it to display icons or, for instance, log in data from a temperature sensor, in which case you would use the write graph function and start logging in data from the temperature sensor. So it also integrates a plot function, so you can see graphs. And this is quite useful to show students what is a sensor, how data can be measured, and then extracted in order to start analysis on some tools, external tools. It also supports various actuators. So, for instance, if you put a servo, a small motor, you will see it turning, as you can see here. And if you even take a robot, so the McQueen, for instance, quite popular, and you tell it to go to move forward, you will have tiny robot simulator showing you the robot moving in a two-dimensional space. And you can then play with the background and so on. So
Leo,
what I should,
can I ask a
yes,
question?
sure, go
Does
ahead.
it show you, like, say for example, you're hooking up a servo or a light or a buzzer? Does it show you that? Does it give you the how to hook it up? Like, is that a part
Yes,
of the platform as well?
yes. So by default, we are here in what we call the mosaic view. So the mosaic view shows you rectangles with the different elements that you connect to the board. But here on the top right, we have what we call the wiring mode, which shows you the connection between the board and the sensors or actuators with the wires in between. And you can change the elements. Does that answer the question?
Totally. That's really
Yeah.
cool. I like
Okay.
that.
Yeah, and if you want to make it even more contextual, you can use our backgrounds or drag and drop your own file. And say you want to water plants, you can say like, okay, I will use like the small servo to power a pump or whatever. And I will add a humidity sensor, which would make sense with this. Yeah, and if you're lost, because we really have a lot of sensors, sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming. So you can use the search in here. So if you take like moisture, it will select the blocks, the corresponding blocks. And also, when you let your mouse hovering over a block, you can see the image and some explanations. So this can be quite helpful also to understand better what's going on all around. So yeah, and so if I add my moisture sensor, as I just mentioned, you can see the wiring, which should show it. Yeah, so you can put it in the plant and then say I will water the plant with this accordingly, for instance. And then of course you can upload the code to your real board. So if I just show you the the demo, but I'm guessing you all know how it works. You just plug it in and then click on the upload button, which allows you to connect the board, and then you get the code up and running. So in there, I'm just basically collecting data from a sensor which is not really connected to my board, but nonetheless, it shows you some data. And if I put my finger, yeah, you see that it creates some variations in the signal. So this is live data. Previously, it was just a simulator showing some data. Here, it's live data from my board, which you can then export in various formats like CSV, TXT, or API. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Simple interface, easy to handle with simulation and upload. But I think what really makes Vittascience different is that you have support of pretty much anything that you can imagine in terms of hardware, and that gives you the ability to switch between different hardware without needing to change the software. And I'm just showing you one that I really like for young students, which is the Bluebot. I don't know if you're familiar with this one. You told me that you're familiar with the microbit, but are you with the Bluebot as well?
I think most of us, yeah.
Okay. So for the Bluebot, you have the same logic with blocks and Python, but once again, let's hide and focus on the blocks. So if I open the simulator, you see here we have a minimap, which can be updated, of course, according to the map that you want, and you can drag and drop your own. And then you can actually create instruction by just clicking on the back of the tiny robot, and then when you press go, you will see the movements going with your robot. So here I'm just asking it to to turn and move forward, and you have this simulation showing you the movements, and you can also activate pencil mode to see where the robot went. So it draws a line at the back, and this is quite useful in order to see the movements of your robot. And I would say it's quite good. Usually in a classroom, you don't have one of these for each student. This would require too much budget. But if you have even just one,
or a few, you can ask all the students to manipulate the interface online with the simulation, and then go one by one on the real piece of hardware and manipulate it with their own hands. So yeah, it can be used also to have more students on board, not just you know, to use a fully digital version. I'm more in favor of a hybrid solution where you have hardware and software collaborating. And just to show you the other extreme, so this would be the easiest robot to start coding education, and this would be the hardest. So it's called Now. I'm pretty sure some of you are familiar because it's been around for many years, this robot. It's much more expensive, of course, and
Yeah,
it's
very expensive. Very
yeah,
expensive. Beyond our budgets, but yeah, it's cool.
it's cool. So you can actually here see that we have a three-dimensional simulation, but the concept is really the same. So you have the same logic, you know, blocks, Python, can switch from one to another. And if you just say, okay, move forward by 50 centimeters, you will see your robot moving. And you can activate the pencil just like previously. So it will show you behind the hands where the robot actually went. And then you can say, okay, I want you to raise your right arm. So you click on the arm, and then you can select the parameters and you know, activate the right elements, and then add a block. And there you see the block with the right pose. And like this, quite easily, actually, you can create a dance or a routine that the robot will follow. And that kind of coding, well, it is my belief, at least, that students can learn coding on very, very simple hardware, such as the microbit or the bluebot, and then feel the ability to program much more complex robots, such as this one, because it's the same logic. The interface is the same, and of course, you can connect to the real robot. And the same for the industrial world, where robotic arms are quite widely used. You have here the same three-dimensional scene with the robot, so you can say, like, I want to move the rotational, like you see, and you can adapt all the joints one by one in order to create your own code. Are there any questions at this point before I move on to the AI content? Or
Yeah. Leo, what not platforms, what devices can it service? Like, can you do this on a Chromebook or on a tablet, or is it just for desktops?
yeah, good question. So it actually works on desktop, tablet, and smartphones. Though I don't really recommend smartphones. Blocks coding is really small for the smartphones, but it works on everything because it's web-based. And then the question is, how can you transfer the code? So some of the robots are using USB connection, such as the microbit. Some are using Bluetooth, such as the Bluebot, and some are using Wi-Fi, such as the Now and others. So according to the connection, some of them will work and some others won't. So if it uses USB, I would definitely recommend desktop. If it's using Bluetooth, it will work with tablet and mobile very well. And for desktop, you need to check that your desktop supports Bluetooth. Otherwise, you need a USB Bluetooth key. And for Wi-Fi, it works with everything. You just need to be sure that you can set up the Wi-Fi.
And
Does that answer the question?
one last question. Yep. Are there certain web browsers that are better than others when you want to use this?
Yes. So specifically for the Bluetooth and USB features, we recommend Chrome, Edge, or Opera, and we don't recommend Safari and Firefox because they don't support the APIs that are required for transferring the code. So if you take the microbit, for instance, you can upload directly on Chrome, Safari, no, on Chrome, sorry, Edge and Opera. You can upload the code in one click. And on Safari and Firefox, you would need to first download the hex file and then drag and drop into the microbit. So it's a bit more time consuming, and you have more risks of of mistakes by the students. So yeah, I would recommend these.
That's great. Thank you.
I have a question also. I think I see there's like the option to save your projects. Is that
Yes. Yes. So by default, when you're not logged in, everything I showed you so far, I was not logged in. So you can see that you can actually do a lot already without logging in. So when you're not logged in, you can download on your computer, and this will generate a file that you can reopen, pretty much like a local file system. If you're logging in, you have the access to the online cloud database. So I will just show you if I log in with my account. So you can log in. Maybe I was a bit fast. Just let me slow this down. So to log in, you can whether create a password and with an email address, or you can see that we support single sign-ons from various cloud providers. So you can sign in one click. So once you're signed in, you can save your projects in the database, and they will follow you on all your devices. So it's quite convenient. So if I want to call it my project with Canada, I can save this code, and then as soon as you did this, your project gets a link, so you can find it in your projects in here. And you see here that we have a unique link and also a unique QR code that can be shared with others. So this is quite convenient to share it with the students, for instance. And also you can integrate it with an iframe into your existing LMS or website. So this is quite convenient. And we've seen, for instance, many teachers, I'll give you a very simple pedagogical scenario, but you want the students to replicate this code. So just to blink the heart, I'm sure you've all tried it with the microbit. It's quite classic. So this is the code. You show the heart, you hide it, and you put a 1 second pause in between. So you can test the result in here, and then you can save and share. But before you do so, you can, for instance, mix the blocks, just to put them like this, for instance, and you will ask your students to put them in the right order. So in this case, I can save my project. Here it was saved, and so if I share the project with you, then you can actually try it, and yeah, and the link that I just shared should bring you to the exact same state that you're seeing now, where you need to reconfigure the blocks. For those who want to push it even further, we also have a create new exercise feature. So you can add an exercise statement. So for instance, like make the heart blink. That would be my statement here. So you can see that it added some text at the top that tells the students what to do. And if you want to go even further, we have an automatic correction mode, where you can detect if the student is right or wrong automatically. So it saves you a lot of time as a teacher, because the machine is correcting automatically the code. And we also have a mode where you can limit the blocks in the workspace. So if I activate it, you see that my workspace becomes just filled in with the blocks that I actually used. So the students have much less noise and much less blocks to go through. So I just I set it up like this, so you should have it live in your if you try the link that I shared in the chat, or you reload the page. If you already opened it, you should see the same than what I see now.
And
Do you have any more
Leo,
questions?
again, there's no login required for that at all. You just take the link, send it to I mean, you could put that in Google Classroom, you could put it into,
Yes.
Teams, etc., right? And they don't have to log in at all. They click on it, boom, there they are.
Yes.
Okay.
Then okay, so this everything that I showed you so far is for free. if you pay the license, the premium license, you have a classroom mode here, where as a teacher you can create a class and then see the progress of your students. So here I'm logged in as a teacher. That's my name. I can see my class. At the moment I have just one, but I can add several. And like, let's make a test, but I will call it Canada, my second class. And in here, I want to add students. So I have a code here, which I can share with you. So I'll put it in the chat. Yes. So if you click on the link that I just sent in the chat, you will be asked a username, and then you will automatically appear within my class. So here, by default, there's just one student called Vita Demo. But if you click on the link and you enter a pseudonym, pretty much anything, I see that Lexi just arrived, and perhaps others will come soon enough. And then, of course, you can add activities, such as the one I just created, and then see the progress. So there's Chris and Monix also joining. Thank you for joining. So yeah, it's pretty standard learning management system. So this is included in the premium features. This allows you to actually see, I see that Caroline and Sheila also join, and Jenna. Thank you for joining. I feel less alone in my classroom now. So yeah, and then I think there's no need to display it completely. I guess you understand the concept, but here you have the activities that you can create and then share it with your students and see what they do in the classroom. So in this case specifically, each student gets a username that they can choose, plus a PIN code with 4 numbers that you automatically got when you logged in. You should be able to see your PIN code. So for Caroline, for instance, it's 3038. And so in this case, it's kind of login, but without email and without a real password. So you're connected to me as a teacher in this class specifically. And anytime I can lock the classroom so that no one else can join and unlock it. So this is my teacher profile, let's say. So to summarize, as Chris mentioned, you can whether code without being logged in as a teacher and as a student, in which case everybody starts from scratch, from the raw interface, empty interface. If you want your students to start in a specific state, then you should create an account as a teacher and then send a link, just like I did previously, to your students. But you will not get the feedback from them. And if you want to get the feedback, you should use the classroom mode. So you kind of have 3 levels that you can choose from. While I'm also mentioning it, there is also a resource tab that you probably saw on the top of the website, where you can find more than 500 free and open source content on various topics, but you can sort them by support. So for instance, like the microbits, can select, and then you will see if you select, for instance, English or French, all the tutorials that are using the microbit board. At the moment, the community is mostly French speaking, so you'll notice that you have many more resources in French than in English. But if you happen to create content, exercises, or other things, feel free to publish them here, and you will see the amount of views on your resource, and this will make the community wider. I also wanted to show you the AI interfaces, but first, are there questions, perhaps?
For the resources that are here, so these are created by various individuals, do they go through any sort of vetting process?
No, at the moment we have a moderation after the publication, so we check that everything's all right, but we don't have any kind of editorial setup. So teachers can publish their content. They need to be logged in for this, so you can see their names. But anyone can publish without a background check. And if you click, like, just to show you how it can look like, so here it's a basic tutorial in French, sorry, about a robot avoiding obstacles. So you can see there is some kind of description. Then you have the list of materials where you can buy them. And then we explain the underlying principles of the ultrasonic sensors. And then you can see that you can have code embedded without the content. And this is the same interface that we've seen previously. It's just that this time it's directly integrated within the resource. So it's quite useful because you can simulate it and upload it directly within. And most of them are under Creative Commons license. Are there more questions?
You can always put your questions in the chat too. I know Chris and I are watching the chat, so if something comes to you later on, don't be shy.
Absolutely. Okay. So now I will switch to the AI platform, which is the second tab in the website. So for now we have 5 different tools. Sorry, 6. So this one was hiding behind. I'll just dezoom. Yeah. So 6 different tools that display different kind of AIs. And the first thing that we want to teach is really that there is not one type of AI, but several. So the one that everybody is talking about at the moment is text generation. So this one with ChatGPT, Mistral, Anthropic, and others. Cohere in Canada mostly. But you also have image generation and image recognition, sound recognition, posture recognition, sensor data recognition, and many other use cases actually. So we want to introduce the idea of AI not being just one thing, but more being a family of algorithms with their strengths and weaknesses. So we can start by the most powerful ones, which would be the text generation. So for this one, we offer a wide range of models. So you will see that you have different models. We ensure the highest level of privacy by anonymizing and not reusing data to train AI models. And also, we show how it works within, because the mission of Vittascience is really to make technology more accessible. And we've added some legal documents in case you're interested. And there was a big work from the government of Quebec on ethical and legal framework for AI. I don't know if you've seen it. It's quite an interesting document. So we've put you have the link in here. So if I access the interface, the first thing you can see here is that you can select the large language model with which you will talk. So you have Mistral, DeepSeek, ChatGPT, Meta, and others. And each of them are sorted by their number of parameters, which would be kind of the size, and also the context, which would be their memory in a way. And some are for free, and some require the premium license that I previously mentioned. So if I select this one, the first one, then I can ask a question, what are black holes, for instance? And then you get an answer, which would be the same answer that you would get on Mistral in this case. And so you see that the text was highlighted in different colors. This color is connected to the probability of getting such words. So I don't know how familiar you are with large language models and AI in general, but basically what happens is that you have the prompt here from the user, and then it tries to predict the most probable next word. So after what have black holes, 93% the next word would be black. But you can see that 6% probability was to start the quote, to quote black holes probably. And then after black, it would be holes, very, very high probability. And then the next word is predicted, are very probable. and then region, also very probable, in space, and so on. And you see that sometimes the probability is much less obvious. Here, for instance, after this comma, there could be many other words. So which was actually not so probable. And if you're interested, you can click on another word and see how the sentence would be different if you would change just one word. So in this case, I replaced which by known, and you can see that what follows is quite different. And sometimes it's even completely different. Like it can switch from one extreme to another. So you can make a lot of funny tests to show what is called hallucination. I'm sure you've all heard of this issue with large language models and AI in general, that they cannot really tell the truth and they rely on probabilities to make their predictions. And so you shouldn't trust what they say to the exact word, but more develop your critical thinking. And well, I'm sure you've all heard this. So you can make a lot of tests. For instance, what is your favorite color? This usually works. So it tells you my favorite color is blue. And I don't know if you know this information, but most of the world prefers blue as a color. Green would come second, and well, just after cyan, but it's also blue, so green would come second. And this is an interesting one, I believe, because there's no truth in the color that you prefer. But here we really see the impact of the training data sets that were injected into the different AI models. And if you ask another model, you will get perhaps different answers. So if you ask, sorry, I will just take another model. I will stay with the free version. But yeah, let's take this one. You can regenerate. Sorry. And here you see another model is actually telling me I don't have personal preference. So this one will not tell me what the color, what is the preferred color. So it's interesting to see the difference between the AI models, and you can actually try them with this tool. Another feature that I really like is that you can see you can see here the consumption. So you can see that our chat so far consumed 0.5 gram of CO2. And this calculation was done from the energy consumption from the electricity. And then you have equivalence here with, sorry, I don't know why this keeps popping up, but you have equivalence with existing things such as video streaming, metro, car sharing, and so on. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this AI service, which is really focused on explaining how it works and also the impacts, environmental and ethical.
So Leo, just to understand a bit, like here in Quebec, for example, like we have age limits of like 13, years old and older to interact with language models, large language models. Is this
Yes.
considered that, or is this considered, like a platform where you play with AI, but there's no, the output's very contained, and it's like kids aren't going to go on to this to help them with research or ask, how do you give a haircut to a dog or something like that, right? What's the security or safety around for kids to be able to go in here and use, just so that they can learn? Because I think it's valuable stuff that you're showing. It's not about the stuff it's saying, it's more about the energy it uses, how they're all kind of different, how they all have their own kind of
Yes.
biases and stuff like that. Like, what way to example students use this platform in a way?
Yes. So at the moment, the models are provided, and they are real models. So the legal limitations still apply, even though it's really focused on education, because we are using real AI models. It's not like fake data that we generate here. But nonetheless, we've added moderation. So you have a button on the bottom left explaining how we handle this. So we have a word-by-word moderation, and if we detect inappropriate words, we replace them by asterisks and to hide it in case the AI model goes rogue. But I think the regulation, they still apply. So what you can do is, as a teacher, to show, video with a video projector, everything I've shown so far, and perhaps ask your students like, which question would you like to ask today, and show these probabilities and try to find some relevant examples of hallucinations of bias, you know. And also, I will present it just after, but we have non-generative AIs, which are not limited in terms of age. So you can make a mix of showing as a teacher generative AIs, even though you don't really let your students play with it directly, because it's forbidden, even though we have moderation, but still. But they can play with the other types of AI, and I will show it just after.
Great. So like you guys kind of monitor, like I'll give you a far-fetched example, but if you have a student going on here and continuously chatting with one of the agents, like do you guys get flagged as to, like the language that's being used, or because sometimes kids at a young age, they don't understand what's real and not, and they might start develop, giving information and stuff like that. Like, how do you guys make sure that there's a safety um within, so that kids aren't like using it to, oh, my good friend over at Vittascience, I'm gonna go and hang out with, along those lines?
Yes, it's a very good question. So the most inappropriate use cases that we've observed, they are mostly on image generation. So we've really worked hard on the moderation on this one. And for text generation, so far, we haven't seen this kind of behavior because we're just using models that can be found pretty much elsewhere. And they have already within some kind of moderation. So it requires some skills to actually jailbreak them and get to quite harmful stuff. Unlike the image generation, which has almost no protection by default. Everything needs to be implemented. So we don't monitor in depth the conversation at the moment. We actually don't store them for now. So that's why we have this anonymization and this emphasis on privacy. But at some point, we might be required to put some agents in place in order to detect dangerous conversations and stop them before some harm is done.
Okay, thank you, appreciate
Yeah,
it.
no problem. So for image generation, actually, it's pretty much the same concept. So you can select a model. We have several. Some you need to pay for, some are for free. Then you can send a prompt. So here, a globe with water flowing on a stand photographic style, and then you get your globe standing on the stand, coming in a bit. Yeah, in here. And so what's interesting is that we don't just provide the final image, but also the steps that led to it. So you can really see how the AI is denoising the pixels into a relevant image. You also have the consumption in terms of CO2, just like previously. You can see here that it generates far more CO2 than the text in terms of gram. And also you have the creations of other members of the community in there, and you can check their prompts. Yes, in there. Some of models, of course, work better than others. And for this one, we've worked really hard on the moderation because by default, image generators have the ability to generate really all kind of images which are not suitable for kids. So what we've done on this one is that instead of sending directly the prompt to the image generator, we first have an AI model which has this instruction in which we described specifically what we want to avoid. So hate speech, discrimination, incitement to hatred, harassment, bullying, and so on. And if you ask a prompt that does not respect our policy, it is actually not generated. It is stopped by the first agent. So this works really well. We've had almost 500,000 images created just in the last year, the last 6 months, in the last 12 months, sorry. And it really stops quite efficiently the prompt that would be inappropriate. So we might at some point deploy a similar system for text, which you mentioned, Chris, in order to avoid harmful conversations. But it's a bit more tricky for text because you need to read the whole conversation and determine whether it's risky or not. For image, it's just one prompt, so it's easier.
Yeah, and I think, Leo, too, like what you said before, where a teacher could have this on the screen, you know, and they can interact with the students, but the students aren't touching, you know, they're not doing it alone. They're doing it as a class rather than just so they
Yes.
can see. I really love the steps to how it decides how to put the image together based on the prompt. That's great. That's really, it's powerful.
Yes. And there's something quite funny that I think is quite adapted for primary school. So we call it the challenge. So every week we publish an image. This week it's this one, and we don't give you the prompt. And yeah, I see here that it's not translated, by the way. The goal is to reproduce the image, and you get a score according to your to the proximity of your image. So you can see here the best images of this week. So the best score is 85% at the moment, this one. And this is quite interesting because it's image generation, so it's clearly AI. But what we really are working on with this exercise is vocabulary. It's the ability for a student at a very young age to describe an image with the exact words in order to get a very similar image. So this is a skill that actually goes beyond AI. It's more connected to the English language or French language or whatever language, but to the vocabulary and to the expression, the ability to describe things, which is far more important in my opinion than AI itself. So just something interesting that you can try with your students if you want. Then again, you can do it also without letting them type in the prompt directly, but more discuss it in the classroom and try it. And finally, you have non-generative AIs. So I will just show you the image. Other ones, they are very similar. So in here, the goal is to create categories. Each category will have a name. So here I created 2 named thumbs up, thumbs down, and then you'll feed it with images. So this is me with my thumbs up and me with my thumbs down. And then you can train the model. This will take only 10 seconds. And you get an AI model tailored to your needs. And so my camera is already taken by Zoom, so I'll try to refresh it. Hopefully the Chrome browser will be able to get it, but I'm not sure. Let's see. Oh yeah, it gets it. So you see that when I put my thumbs up, it tells you thumbs up. And when I put my thumbs down, it tells you thumbs down. Well, and it doesn't work that well because I have changed my background compared to my training data sets. But you get the idea. Yeah. And what's interesting on this one is that you can see the area of influence. So you can see which part of the image had the most impact on the detection. And you can also see the neural network to really understand how it works within. So here the goal is really to train your own AI and to understand what is a data set, how do you train an AI, and what it does essentially. And so we deployed the same system for sound recognition. So you can create kind of a mini Shazam to find musics or a word detector to detect different words. And the same for posture detection. I don't know if you're familiar with such algorithms. So they basically put a net on the body to detect your position. And also for sensor data, for instance, with the microbit, in order to detect signals. So here I just trained an AI to recognize when I'm running or not running, and it's working very, very efficiently. And the good thing about these AIs is that they are very small in terms of neural networks. So here it's clear that I'm not running, and you can visualize the neural network. It's actually quite small, so you can really understand that it's using basic math to recognize the maximum, the average, the minimum, which are quite basic mathematical concepts, and then making some calculations in order to determine whether I'm running or not. So it allows you to really explain the concepts behind AI in a much simpler way than with the text and images AIs, which are much more advanced. And of course, you have videos to help you understand how it works, and pedagogical content that goes alongside. Are there questions?
Maybe
I think
we'll.
it's great.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I'm really impressed. I love how we get to see kind of like the behind the scenes of how it's working. I think that's great for helping students and everybody in general to understand like how these different systems are working. So that's great.
Yes. And if you want to move forward, you can even connect coding, robotics, and AI together. So, for instance, you can train an AI to recognize thumbs up and thumbs down, just like what I did previously. And then you can create a block-based program, for instance, where if you have your thumbs up, you will make the robot move forward, or the microbit to display something, you know. So here you have extensions with the microbit, for instance, and you can say if I detect that my thumbs are up, I want my servo motor to be turning a certain angle, you know, or my robot to move forward. So yeah, so you can build more advanced projects.
Love it.
If that makes sense.
Totally. I love this one-stop shop too. Like, Leo, it's there. I tried it on the iPad. It worked really nice and responsive through Chrome. But yeah, I agree with you on the phone. It's a little small.
Yes, on the phone it's a bit small.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's amazing. Amazing.
Really, I'm grateful for the walkthrough. Thank you very much. I agree, Chris. Like the one-stop shopping is a huge feature.
Yeah. I like too the fact too there's no login. Like,
Yes.
that's good safety for our kids because we're always worried about getting their names and stuff. So if they can go on, use it, download the file if they are not done yet, upload it back. You know, I mean, it's an extra step, but it creates that safety that teachers are looking for. So I appreciate that. Thanks, Leo. This is a great walkthrough. Thank you.
You're welcome. And just so you know, there is also a hardware shop where you can whether purchase elements, so single boards or robots, and we also produce some hands-on kits. So the weather station, for instance, or the AI kits or the robot kits. So these are hardware kits. So of course, they are you need to pay for them, but we do ship to Canada. And then you have the premium feature that I mentioned previously, which costs 150 euros per year for one user. And if you want more users, then you have a counter here determining the price. So these give you the access to the premium AI models and also to the classroom management system.
So you're saying user is a teacher, and then the teacher can have up to 400 students in their classroom.
Yes.
That's wicked. Great. Cool. Well, thanks, Leo. That was amazing. I feel
You're
like
welcome.
I want to
So
program
I'm
something
really
now.
looking forward to yeah, I'm really looking forward to get feedback from you, ideally from your classrooms or from your colleagues. Yeah, please let me know whether there's any issue, technical issue, or some content that should be created in order to make your journey more enjoyable, or some translation issues. I would be more than happy to hear back from you. So I can leave my address in the chat. So it's leo@vittascience.com. So feel free to contact me, and we're currently working on improving the platform with a strong focus on making it easier. So to be honest, it's usually harder with primary school teachers because the kids are so young. There are issues with the technological skills. So we are continuously trying to push uh, the accessibility features in order to make this technology really accessible for the widest amount of people.
Amazing.
That's great.
Cool.
Thank you very much. And I believe we see you next week at the same time to look a little bit more at secondary.
Yes.
That's great. Thank you very much, Leo.
Now go